Ant-Man 3 Quantumania, in my eyes, is make or break for the MCU because Phase 4 destroyed the brand. It has gone from the heights of Phase 3 with Infinity War, Endgame, and that amazing climax to the Infinity Saga. Apart from No Way Home and the odd scene here in Loki, the odd scene here in Doctor Strange, you might as well forget Marvel Phase 4. So I think Ant-Man 3 is kicking off Phase 5, and for me, it's make or break for Marvel. If this doesn't succeed, and if this doesn't, get us hooked straight back into the franchise, it gets us hooked for the, what is it called, the multiverse saga, I think we can almost forget about, Kang being hyped, the next Avengers films being hyped, and really, unless something major happens in Phase 5 and 6, I think we can forget about the hype that they bring as well. In the Marvel Studios subreddit, a verified plot leak has been posted on the Tales from the Mod Q thread. The plot says that the climactic battle in eye-popping huge, and we will see giant versions of Scott and Cassie in the fight. Kang, who is the main villain of the movie, will reportedly square off against Hope, Scott, and Cassie. Well, that's interesting. Kang will survive the battle, and just when our heroes are about to go back to the real world, he will stop Scott. So even though Hope, Cassie, and Hank will escape, that didn't say Jane as well, but Scott will not escape. Hope will return for him since she can't imagine a life without him. The two of them will try and fail to trap Kang again in the quantum realm. So he will escape, and instead Hope and Scott will get trapped. Our Ant-Man and the Wasp will then stare out into the quantum realm. We won't know whether this plot leak is true till the film releases, but if it is true, fans will be able to breathe a sigh of relief. After all, contrary to all the theories going around, Scott isn't actually dying. Janet met Kang whilst trapped in the quantum realm and stole the power source for his time machine, leaving him stranded. This obviously ties in with when Janet Van Dyne was in the quantum realm for all that time in Ant-Man and the Wasp 2. Now, how she stole this power source from Kang, who's got all this power and would inevitably, having had the power source, be this godlike man or godlike creature. How on earth Janet Van Dyne would get that power source off him is beyond me. It almost seems unreal that could actually happen. So I think in terms of why he's there, that doesn't obviously clear that up. No, sorry. I guess it does clear up why he's there. He's there because he's looking to get this power source back, and that's why he's stuck around. How he got there, though, well, I guess it's clear that he's looking for some sort of power source in order to travel the multiverse. And I guess this quantum nexus power source, which isn't outlined, I don't think, in these plot leaks, is this power source. Now, from what I have read, the quantum nexus is also where, beings like the Watcher chill out. And the Watcher's that the guy from the What If series. So that was cool. And you know what? I would actually like to see how they link the Watcher and the What If stuff with the quantum realm, because that'd be cool to get those sort. I know not the animated versions, but those sorts of characters brought to life and end up, appearing in either not this film, but obviously one of the Avengers films going forward. In the present, Scott has become a celebrity for helping defeat Thanos, but isn't spending a lot of time with Cassie. Well, this is what we went over in our Ant-Man trailer reaction. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you do. We went through the recent trailer and then we kind of broke it down. It does seem like he's become a bit of a celebrity, him and Hope. It's evidence that, you know, this kind of celebrity lifestyle's gone into his head a bit, which obviously is putting Cassie to the side. But what we've also established is from the trailer is the whole thing about he lost that 5 years whilst the snap happened. So obviously, just recapping, the snap was only 5 hours for him, whereas in kind of the real world it was 5 years. And what that means is he wants to get that time back. So that was clear from the trailer. That's clear from all of the others, you know, all of the other information out there. What's not clear is though is the celebrity lifestyle is obviously preventing him with spending time with Cassie here. But I think what we can establish from this is, whilst Cassie and Scott are in the quantum realm, I guess it poses an opportunity for them to do some father-daughter bonding. Now, Cassie is working with Hank and Janet and wants to follow in Scott's footsteps, which he disapproves. Well, I think the whole disapproval thing is about where, you know, where she's created this quantum device about communicating with the quantum realm, and that obviously absorbs them all into the quantum realm. But she wants to follow in her dad's footsteps. Obviously, not the kind of the thief stuff, but more the technology stuff and him working with Hank and Janet on the quantum realm timey-wimey stuff. Hank opens a portal to the quantum realm, which has been acting funky due to multiverse BS, accidentally allowing Kang to kidnap Cassie. That's an interesting one. So I think actually we've already disproved this with the trailer, because it's Cassie who opens up the quantum realm, and but it is clear that Kang kidnaps Cassie in order to strike that bargain with Scott. Now, the Ant family goes into the quantum realm to rescue Cassie and meet Krylar, who is played by Bill Murray. Janet and Krylar were buddies when Janet was trapped in the quantum realm and is still pining her, making things awkward with Hank. Well, that sounds cool. And I kind of like that they're bringing in Bill Murray's character, because it offers the chance for Janet and Hank to do something while they're in the quantum realm. Oh, this is a cool one. Hank's second in command is Darren Cross, who, just to recap, is the villain from Ant-Man 1. So he's the kind of Scott's Ant-Man's nemesis in Ant-Man, the first film, who Kang rebuilt as MODOK. So just to recap, machine organism designed only for killing. So Krylar is also secretly working for Kang in exchange for the safety of the quantum realm. Now, this is why I wanted to park the Krylar thing, because I think Krylar and Janet are going to buddy up, and Krylar's going to get a lot of information from Janet and Hank, and maybe where some of the pin particles are, maybe some where are the secrets in the quantum realm are, because bear in mind Janet was there for a very, very long time. And then I think he's going to take that information and share it again with Kang. So that's kind of a cool twist as to Krylar, i.e. Bill Murray's part to play there. So I think this is one we already know. Kang approaches Scott to trade Cassie for the power source, but Hank and Janet refuse to give it up, and Scott has to steal it from them. Now, interestingly, this leak talks about Hank and Janet having access to this power source. I don't think this one's correct. I think Scott has also almost got to find a way to gather up this quantum nexus, or gather a way into the quantum nexus to find the power source there, and either bring that back to Kang, or bring the directions to the quantum nexus to Kang. What I think he needs to steal from Hank and Janet is either some pin particles, or maybe the way to get there. Because if you remember, and if you recall from the trailer, what we see is Janet saying to Scott, you can't trust this guy, i.e. you can't trust Kang. And I think that's probably the directions to the quantum nexus, i.e. the power source. So I like how everyone's starting to link up now. We've got MODOK and Kang, obviously with Krylar, i.e. Bill Murray on the side, and then we've got the part to play for Hank and Janet. I guess what I like about this film, it sounds like Scott is going to be the main protagonist, and Scott's going to be doing a lot of the doing, which is good, because I didn't like in the second film that he was a bit of a sideline character. Yes, it brought in the Wasp, but what I like about Hope and Cassie, I think they're going to be more sidelined and supporting characters and supporting roles in this film. And the whole trade-off between what Kang needs, we established that from the trailer. So Kang's obviously wanting Scott to steal something from him. And I like that concept because it brings in what Scott was before the events of Ant-Man #1, where Scott was in prison. He was like a thief, I think, from memory, way back when. So the Ant family convinces Krylar to stand against Kang and rallies his people to battle Kang and his army. MODOK betrays Kang and helps the Ant family drain his power and defeat him and his forces, but then betrays the Ant family as well to escape on his own. So a lot to break down in this one then. So I think the Ant family is either, from what I can gather with other rumours, is either the population of either the mechanized ants, or what they're dubbing as the Ant-Man family, i.e. Scott, Hope, Cassie, Hank and Janet. Kind of that's the Ant family. What it sounds like is that they convince Krylar to side with them and to take on Kang. What it says here, MODOK betrays Kang. So obviously this is a cool turn of events here, because we're going to start off with Kang and MODOK with a bit of Krylar on the side versus Scott and the squad, and then by the end of it we'll have Kang and his old massive army from what we've seen in the trailer versus MODOK versus Krylar and versus like Scott and the gang. From what I understand, MODOK kind of wants to escape the quantum realm again, because Darren Cross ended up there in Ant-Man 1. Maybe this is why he wants to escape. He wants to get back into the real world. And what this doesn't confirm, though, I guess, is how the final battle plays out. Is it going to be Kang plus army versus the rest, or is it going to be Kang versus MODOK, and then those two versus Ant-Man and crew as well? I don't know. What we do know is what it looks like MODOK is going to escape, either on his own or kind of as part of Kang's final attack on on everyone. So the movie ends with Ant-Man, with the Ant family still trapped in the quantum realm, whilst MODOK returns to the normal world. MODOK is the main villain, with Kang as his master, similar to Ronan and Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy. So those are the vibes I'm getting as well. Very much so, MODOK is there to do some of the dirty work for Kang. But obviously, he wants to release himself from the clutches of Kang's, Kang's ties with MODOK. And obviously Darren Cross, who is the face of MODOK from what we saw in the trailer, wants to escape. And finally, Quantumania Kang is a younger variant, different from He Who Remains from Loki and Emperor Loki, that will appear in Loki Season 2. What does this mean, though, for Phase 5? Well, from what I've heard, Ant-Man Quantumania kicks off. It kicks off from where Kang Dynasty will begin. So the ending of this film will be the start of Avengers Kang Dynasty. What does that mean, though, going forward for Phase 5 is we may not see much from Kang until Kang Dynasty. And that's a bit One that's a kind of worrying, because we saw snippets of Thanos dotted into various films within phase 3, and there were various post-credit scenes with Thanos. But to have Kang be introduced in Quantumania and then almost forgotten about until the end of phase 6 almost, that's a long time. So hopefully we get some post-credit scenes with Kang. What's Kang doing? What's he about? Maybe some snippets as to what's his journey looking like between now and Kang Dynasty. So what does that mean for Kang Dynasty, for Secret Wars? Well, like I said, this sets up Kang Dynasty, but there's a massive gap. Maybe what we see, though, is almost Kang's prequel, who Kang really is, because in the comics, Kang is a descendant of both Mr. Fantastic and Doctor Doom. So in the comics, Kang the Conqueror's real name is Nathaniel Richards. Now that begs the question, how will Kang interact with the Phase 5/Phase 6 film with the Fantastic Four reboot? I think what we will see there is either a prequel to Kang's story, or we will see some sort of flashbacks or flash forwards with Kang's story and how this ties in with the Fantastic Four plotline. Maybe they do Doctor Doom as well. They do a reboot of Doctor Doom, and we see Doctor Doom interacting with Nathaniel Richards, or Fantastic Four interacting with Nathaniel Richards, and then we see kind of that prequel to Nathaniel Richards becoming Kang. Now the biggest question is for me, how does Avengers Kang Dynasty end up becoming this Avengers Secret Wars film? Because I don't think there's that much content between the two. Yes, in phase 3 we had, what was it, just Captain Marvel? I think that was the only film between Infinity War and Endgame. And it introduced Captain Marvel, who was almost this Deus Ex Machina in Endgame. So it opens the door as to how do we go from Kang Dynasty, which I do believe will be the Avengers versus Kang, or lots of Kangs throughout the multiverse, or you could argue that it's Kang versus Kang, and almost the Avengers are a bit of a sideline. I suspect Secret Wars will be a lot of quantum realm, timey-wimey stuff, with a lot of the Avengers going back in time or going to different multiverses to gather up different superheroes from Marvel films gone by, in the years gone by. But in the comic books, Secret Wars is all about Doctor Doom creating this battle world. So how do we go from Kang Dynasty to Doctor Doom creating this? Maybe they might, I don't know, maybe they might change, Doctor Doom for Kang, and Kang sets up this world where it has to be Avengers versus Avengers. Who knows? The premise, though, I think there will be even more characters introduced from previous Avengers films.